morning. My name is Claire. Lovely to have you here. Please look after yourself. Remember, if you're new to yoga, feel free to modify, feel free to change things. It's a fairly simple class, but of course, that's very relative, and some of the movements might be challenging for you. I'll walk you through it as always. So, yoga is about the combination of movement and breathing, and we'll try and focus more on movement sometimes and then more on breath other times. I have a block. Feel free to grab something to lean on, it can help. And I have a towel. Sometimes it's nice when you're on the ground or you're kneeling on your knees to support your towel. So we're actually going to start standing today. So bring ourselves up to the top of our mat. So it's first thing in the morning, and a great way to warm up is to get some full body energy happening. So reach up through the whole of your body, pull in through your core, and just take your arms in the air. Take a breath in. As you exhale, release the arms down by your side, and do that a couple of times. So inhale as you lift, and then exhale as you release. So in yoga, we try and have the breath guide the movement. So inhale, inhale, inhale. See where you finish your breath, and then exhale, exhale, exhale. Just do that one more time. And in regards to breathing, feel free to be faster or slower than me. Exhale fully. So now place your hands on your thighs and bend your knees and then straighten them a few times. So this is like a preparation for chair pose, and we're just mobilizing into the ankles. So first thing in the morning, it's good to move joints and stretch the muscles. So next time, just hold it down. That's your chair pose. Your knees go forward, your hips go back. Lift your upper back and pull in the core. Then reach your arms forward, just horizontal to start with. And we're going to get some breath happening here. So stand tall, inhale. Take your thumbs up, maybe backwards. Maybe there's a little arch. Bend the knees, make a chair. Let the arms drop again as you exhale. Do that 2-3 times with your own breath. And so yoga is about being aware of your body, and the body's complicated and there's a lot of it. Take one more breath in, and then wherever you are, just stand tall. Take your hands behind your back. Punch your fist down to the floor and pull the shoulder blades together. So the focus here is to open up across the ribs, right under the armpits. Take a breath, maybe look up gently, maybe take the ribs forward a little bit, and notice if you feel comfortable. So the technical word for a yoga pose is called asana, and asana means comfortable seat and release. So everywhere you're sitting is comfortable. Once again, take your arms up nice and tall, breath in. Tall mountain pose, bend the knees and make a strong chair pose. Lovely. Do that one more time. Up, maybe back. Exhale. So we exhale and inhale through the nose. Stand tall and pause. This time you've got your arms up. You can hold your hands if you want. You can take one hand onto your hip, and we're just going to take it to the side and then back to straight. So exhale, take it across. Inhale, bring it back up again. So the exhale is where the core is working. So if you get challenged, focus on the exhale and feel how that works your belly. Gently, when you're ready, do a few to the other side, so either support or have your hands in the air. And so when we move across, we want to feel sensation on the side of the body that's opening. So we're trying not to compress into our back. And when you feel balanced, bring both arms up, do 1 or 2 more each side, and really push down through both feet. So you're really getting some movement into the side body. And then at some stage, just come back to the middle and release your arms. So just find your Tadasana again, and that's just standing. See how it feels after the little mobility for the ankles, the shoulders and the ribs. And of course, we've woken up your breath. So take an inhale, lift again. This time we will bend the knees and fold forward. So your hands will come down. It's a forward bend. You can keep the knees bent, and from here, just make some heel down squats. So you can see that I'm just bending my knees and I'm mobilizing into the ankle a little bit more. And then at some stage, let yourself dangle. This is a forward bend. You can let your hands rest on your thighs, or you can fold them and maybe they touch the floor. And this is where a block is handy if your hands don't touch the floor. And so one thing you'll find in yoga is you get to know your body, and it's not about being flexible. So I've got really long gangly arms, so I touch the ground. It's just about moving your body with control. So from here, take a breath as you bend your knees and take the right leg all the way to the back of the mat. So it's a nice long lunge. Here, just wiggle and jiggle a little bit. So The back leg is strong and you're just moving around and feeling that front thigh bone. It's kind of spinning inside the hip joint. Kind of imagine you've got a big stick in a cup or you're stirring some soup. Then come through the center and hold. So strengthen the back leg. Now with your left hand, place it on your shoulder and you've got your little elbow poking out. So make some big circles with that elbow. So this is now mobility for the shoulder blade. And of course, you're waking up all the muscles to move the joints. So it's a double whammy. The joints get mobile, the muscles get awake. Then hold the elbow to the ceiling, lift the arm. You're in a beautiful twist. Push down to the floor, take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your hand down. You're going to a dog pose. So dog pose, upside down V. If that looks too challenging for you, feel free to pop your knees on the ground into what we call puppy pose. But otherwise, dog pose, you've got your hands flat and wide, your feet hip width apart, and you can move around a little bit in this position. So rock a bit from side to side, maybe march through your heels. And it's a real good combination of strength and mobility. So your hands are strong, your elbows are soft, and you feel stable. Then your legs are steady and your feet are balanced with the weight. And then from there, you try and get a longer spine, and that means mobility. So you might need to bend the knees and try and lift your little butt cheeks upward. Feel what that does to your lower back. Take a big breath and come forward and pop your knees on the ground. Just a little tabletop. And from here, we can make some cat curls. So we ripple these ones. So you'll tuck your tail and feel a thread or a little ripple run through your back. Let your head drop, push the air out and reverse. So you can either reverse at the tail or the head, but do try and get the sense that it's one bone moving at a time. That'll be your breath in. And then exhale, tuck the tail. Feel free to be a little bit organic and just explore the way your body wants to move. Remembering the principle of asana. So we're looking for comfort. And it's a real point between steady and mobility. So we're not flopping, we're always strong. On your next one, lift your tailbone, step your feet back, lift up into a dog pose again. Take a big breath in your dog pose and then walk your feet to your hands as you exhale. Second forward bend, any modification you want to. This time, maybe just move your head and make some yes, I feel good. And maybe no, I'm not going to leave my mat. I'm going to do the whole practice. And then a yes. So you can release in the back of the neck and a no. And sometimes that'll make your back feel better. Bend your knees a long way again. Place your hands on your thighs for our first stand. And then look forward. And as you look forward, press through your arms and you feel your upper back get stronger. Let your butt drop lower. Reach your arms forward and stand. So you use your arms to pull yourself up. Once again, take your hands behind your back. Feet together. Punch your fist down. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Take a little baby back arch as you inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees. Release your arms. Lift them all the way up. Go up and back as you inhale. Belly strong and sink into your chair pose again. Two more like that. So up and back. Create movement in the spine. And it's really good to do standing back bend as long as it doesn't hurt. But you really have to use your core, yeah, to stop yourself falling. Go all the way to the ground this time. From here, take a little halfway lift. So that means you bend your knees and look forward. Left leg, step it back as far as you can. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. This time, place your right hand on your shoulder and make those big circles. So you're moving the elbow. And as you move the elbow, feel what that does to your shoulder blade. So your arm bone sticks into the side of your shoulder and there's a big triangular flat bone that controls it. And then lift the arm up, up, up. So turn and look up if you can, but always protect your neck. Don't do anything that's stressful. And as you exhale, bring the hand down. Take a nice lunge as you breathe in and play around a little bit here like you did on the other side. So shift yourself from side to side. That back thigh bone, like that big stick in a cup, you move it around. So nice to do this first thing in the morning. I hope your heaters are on. It's a bit chilly, isn't it? Take a breath, plant your hands, step back into your dog pose again. So 3 breaths in dog. Maybe
do this one still, or maybe keep moving around to get yourself more comfortable. And so yoga works on so many levels, and first and most important, it's physical. So you want to get to feel your body and be safe. But second, it's about breath, and breath is interesting because it requires concentration and focus, but it's also a useful way to tap into your breath awareness, into your stress level as well. Come forward onto all fours again, and a couple of those little cat curls, so, or any other variation of wiggling and jiggling. So we inhale, and as you inhale, back goes down, but this time let's really be careful about pulling the belly in. So can you differentiate or feel the difference between the bones that are moving and how the muscles control? So your back drops down, but the belly pulls up. It's like a strong trampoline. Once again, your breath, don't let me guide your movement speed. That's up to you. And I'm pretty little, so sometimes I think I breathe really fast. And on your next one, tuck your toes back under, step back, left and right, or both knees up in your dog pose. Take a big breath in dog pose. Hopefully the body's warmer. Then walk forward again. So we'll start to add on a little bit to our little game. Feet together. Bend your knees and halfway lift. Fold forward as you exhale. Bend the knees, lift the arms forward, thumbs up, and feel the hands pull you up. So the back is engaged. Go up, go back. One more time, take your hands behind. So nice to do this first thing in the morning. Breath in, belly in, upper ribs are open, bottom ribs are pulled in as you exhale. Then lift up, big breath. Fold forward again, so it's back to the right side with a little variation. So halfway lift. Take the right leg back as far as you can. So we did the circle with a bent elbow. This time, draw your left arm straight forward and circle it all the way around. So it's giving you more of a stretch. Do that a couple of times. So reach it, reach it, reach it, reach it, reach it. And if you want to go faster or slower, as always, that's your choice. Just do one more big round. Once again, sink into that back hip as you breathe in, step back into a dog pose. This time from your dog pose, come forward, knees or toes, and carry yourself to the floor, trying to get your chest and belly and thighs down together. So this is now our working back bend. So your hands will be under your armpits. You pull your elbows back and in, draw your hands back. So kind of claw yourself forward. And then as you breathe in, you make a little back extension. Exhale, forehead down. Do that 2 more. So back bending, we're working on the upper back because that's where you tend to slump. In back bending, keep the core on so we're not stressing the lower back. Release, push back up and over. Tuck your toes again. Make your dog pose. So hopefully by now you're a little bit warmer. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale fully. Go for that walk forward again toward the front. You're in a forward bend. Halfway lift, so it's okay to have your hands down or not. Exhale and fold. Make the chair pose before you stand. Lift the head and the arms, then stand, and all the muscles are engaged. Last time with your hands behind your back. Punch your fists, squeeze the shoulder blades, pull in the belly. Say good morning. It's a beautiful day as you exhale. And then inhale, lift. Good. Fold all the way to the floor as you exhale. So it's the left leg's turn. Take a breath in. Left leg will step all the way back. Right arm is going to come forward, and you've got those big 3 circles. Make that movement big and strong and long. And just kind of notice how your shoulder feels. So these movements are really good to explore your joints. One more big one. Breath in, go up, go up, go up. And release. Good. Take an inhale for that back leg on. Lift up, push back to your dog pose. So you're trying to get steady. So come forward onto all fours again. Lower yourself to the ground, knees or toes. Carry your body weight down. Do one little cobra. If you want to lift your hands off the floor, that will really make the back work. But then push up. Lift the belly and the ribs so we're not sagging. Back into your dog pose. Breath in your dog pose. Breath out. And we're going to stay here. This is our new base. So take your right leg in there as you breathe in. It's a 3-legged dog pose. Then you're going to bend that knee in the air and tip your hips over a little bit. Can you feel how you've got this big, beautiful stretch happening from the bottom leg all the way up, and you feel it wrap around that top hip? So take that leg as high as you can as you breathe in. And as you exhale, come forward and kneel on your right leg. So just put your knee on the ground. So with that right foot, watch what I do. I pivot it to the side and make a nice strong shin bone release. Right hand is down, left arm reaches up and over. Then you can look down or forward or up and think about pushing your back leg to the ground. So this is the introduction to some of the outstanding warriors with a beautiful side body stretch. You can still move the arm around a little, sometimes bending the elbow, opening and closing, or just reaching. The idea with the yoga practice is I give you the base. I give you some key points so that you can be engaged in your body, and then eventually you feel your body and you make the adjustments for you. Take one inhale, release the hand to the floor as you exhale. That should feel good. Take your right leg back up in the air as you breathe in and step it all the way through your hands as you breathe out. So you've got this big long lunge, and we're going to rock into the hip as you inhale, so deepen that front knee. You're going to lift the hips and rock back as you exhale to feel the front hamstring, and do that a couple more times. So sink forward as you breathe in, then lift the hips and rock back as you exhale. Maybe one more time or two more, depending upon your speed. And then exhale. Come forward again, lift the right arm, twist like we did before with a big breath in. Step your hand to the floor as you exhale. Take the back knee on the ground and slide into a kneeling lunge. So this is where, if you want to, sometimes having a towel or something under the back knee can be helpful. So we've squared our hips off. We're pulling into the ribs, and just take a few breaths. And if you get any cramping in the front thigh, you can literally hold onto that thigh bone and kind of press it forward. So you're taking some space in that groin area. Good release for that back hip flexor. Just take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, plant your hands, lift your back knee. Can you step to a dog pose? All the way back in one smooth movement. Inhale to a push-up. So either all the way down for a cobra, and if you know up dog and you want to do up dog, feel free to do that. So breath into cobra or up dog. Use your belly, use your core as you lift up and go back. Take the left leg in the air when you're ready. Bend the left knee and open the hip when you're ready. So this is called a three-legged dog pose. So you want to be strong and stable through your arms. And then you can move that top leg around a little bit and feel that amazing stretch, hopefully down the side of the body. And you can feel the left little finger anchor it. Left elbow, press it. Left upper shoulder area, stretch it. And then breath in, you're going to come forward and kneel. Pop your left knee on the ground. Pivot the left foot to the left. Lean on your left arm and then draw the right arm. How good does that feel? So as I said, it's preparation for warriors. So warriors are standing poses. So with your back foot, anchor it down and try and get the whole of the foot down. And see if you can find a line. So often in yoga, we talk about finding a line of energy, a line of strength, a line of stretch. So your line of strength is coming from your forearm. So you soften that elbow. And that line of stretch is that whole top arm. Take a breath in as you release and step all the way around. Good. Can you step back into your dog pose? Take a breath in your dog pose. And this time you're going to take your left leg all the way forward. Long, 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 long lunge. Take your left arm in the air. Take a big twist. That should feel more comfy. Then exhale your left hand down. You've got 3 beautiful lunge rocks. So that means you'll sink forward and jiggle your feet a further apart if you need to. Pyramid pose is taking your hips back to feel the front leg hamstring. And do that again. When you come forward, you can get right onto your tippy toes. And if you wear shoes all day, our little toes get a little bit squashed. And then take one more. How does that feel? Hip flexor or hamstring. Many of us, it's one area that gives more of a stretch. If you want to put a towel under your knee, coming forward and you're going to lean
on that back thigh bone. Squeeze it around. And once again, you're just here to sit. So you're pulling in the belly, you're lengthening through your spine. And this can be a good one to squeeze your butt cheek. Yeah, so really squeeze that butt, and that can help release the hip flexor just a little bit. I hope your body feels good. I've got a beautiful sun streaming in through my window here. It's a lovely morning. Take one more breath. And take a breath, and you're going to release your hands to the ground, lift up. Can you step back into your dog pose? How's your body feeling? Stay in dog pose for a couple of breaths again. It's kind of like home base. So we've had 2 home bases. The first one was standing, and now your home base is dog pose. When you're ready, if you want to go high to low push-up to cobra or up dog, remember, you can always skip things. But if you are doing up dog, it's only hands and feet. You come to the top of your feet and you pull your arm bones back. You lift into the core. So there's no compression in your lower spine. Hinge at the hips like a piece of paper being folded in two. The crease of your hips are balanced and the spine becomes long. So once again, take your right leg in the air, bend the right knee and open the hip as you exhale. Take a breath in. This time, step the foot, not the knee. Step the foot all the way through. Pivot your back heel and a warrior 2. So that means your feet are anchored and you lift your left arm like a big arch and it pulls you up into your warrior. So warrior, we've got our front knee over our toes. We've got the side back foot facing sideways. Reach your arms. Take 3 breaths. So lift, straighten as you inhale. Exhale, bend and sink. Inhale, lift, and it should feel good. We've got lots of movement now in our hips and our knees. Do one more time. Exhale. So you're going to go up and back and pause. Front knee is bent. You can stay with your left arm resting, or if you want, you can hold on to that top arm and just gently pull yourself back, but do what's comfortable for your body. You can either be still, focused on the breath and the combination of strength and stretch, or you can move around a little bit and explore control. One more breath. And as you inhale, lift, straighten your front leg and reach your arms forward. It's a triangle. So triangle, move your hip back, strong legs, reach your arm forward as far as it can so your underneath waist is long. And then you can set your hand on the inside of your shin bone. So we kind of want to avoid pressing on the kneecap and pushing your knee backwards. You want to have the energy diagonally down. Do whatever you want with your top arm. You can lift it. You can bring it over your head. You can do circles again. You can take it behind your back. So take a couple of breaths. Should feel good. You've woken up hamstring a little bit and hip flexor a little bit. As you inhale, lift your arm up. If it's not, pivot to the front, lift up your back heel, touch down. That's going to be a tricky transition. Into a lunge as you breathe in. Can you go straight to low push-up? Maybe. Maybe you need to go through dog. Maybe you're not doing the push-up. Cobra, up dog. So you're in charge. Make it feel safe for your body. Dog pose with strength. I keep saying that. We've got to learn to lift from the middle of the body. Take your left leg in there as you breathe in. Bend the left knee and open the hip. And as you inhale, you at this time going to step that foot all the way through. So setting yourself up for warrior on the other side. Pivot your back foot immediately so the heels are down. Windmill your right arm up and then a beautiful warrior. So warrior is kind of a combination of strength and relaxation. So you've got power in your legs and you've got a little bit of control through the core and the upper back. And so often in posture, we collapse. And so this is a great way just to think, can I lift my rib cage? Can I find little muscles that run up the back of my body? Straighten everything up as you inhale. Bend the front knee as you exhale. Do that 2 more times. And if you want to watch your front knee, just check that it's tracking like a train right through the toes, which are like a train line. So we're going to go back again, do whatever variation works. So backhand can be down, front arm can reach up and pull in the core. Maybe you hold on and I make it feel good. So remember, whenever your arms are above your head, you want that shoulder blade to come around to the side of your ribs and then lift from there. So if you jam it back, often you get pain in the shoulder. Take one more breath and then ease yourself up. We have a triangle. So legs are strong. So push down to the legs. It's harder to have straight legs than it is to keep them bent, yeah? So reach forward, 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 and take any variation of triangle that you want. So reach your arms, you can wrap the hands, you can bring it over the head, and then think about having equal energy through the front and the back leg as you breathe. So as I was saying earlier, number one is where's your body in space, but number two, how does the breath move? So asana, which is the name for the posture, means comfortable seat. And so everything in life is like being in a comfortable seat. And so when you're comfortable, the breath is fine. Take a breath in, bend the knee, pivot your hands around, lift up that back heel, breath in, low push-up or dog pose or the floor. Be strong as you lower yourself down. Be steady and stable as you pull yourself through. Belly in, thighs lift, ribs lift. You're back in your dog pose. Hopefully you feel good. So you've got one little balance to work, and we've already prepped for our balance. So we're going to do a half moon balance. So I'm actually going to take my left leg, so I'm facing you this time. So pick up any leg you like. Take one leg in there as you inhale. Step it all the way through your hands as you exhale. Same as we did before. Pivot the foot, windmill your body upright and in that warrior. Good, reverse back, feel that beautiful side stretch. Now, half moon means your front hand is going to touch either a block or the floor. So it's easy to have your hand way off to the side of your foot, much harder to have it in front of your toes. So choose your option and pick up the back leg. So imagine you're a wheel, yeah? So the center of the wheel is your belly button, and the spokes of the wheel are your arms and your leg and your spine. So push out through all those spokes. Half moon, like all our yoga balances, is really challenging. And if your foot goes down or you put your second hand down, that's not falling over. That's just putting your foot down. So never worry about that. If you've ever had ankle injuries, it is amazing how much we get weak through our ankles and lose control. So getting there was a challenge. I reckon stepping back is harder. So bend that knee as much as you can. It's like a single leg squat, yeah? And see if you can touch back where you came from. Yeah, beautiful, excellent. Inhale, reverse back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step to a low push-up or dog pose. Pull yourself into any kind of cobra or up dog. Body should feel really nice and warm by now. Use your core, scoop your body back. And we need to do the same thing with the other side. So whichever is your other leg lifted up, step it all the way forward. Pivot your back heel. Make a big cartwheel with your arms and sink. So you're ready for the balance on this side. So you're going to take your top arm up and then back and then bring it forward. And we spent a long time on the other side getting there, but maybe you can do it in one sweeping movement. And so then you start to challenge the standing leg as you move your body. Whereas when we're in our half moon, you're challenging the standing leg without moving your body. So your belly needs to pull in, and the standing leg, you've got this strong glute muscle and quads. And sometimes balance is better when you switch more muscle on, but sometimes balance is better when you switch some muscle off. So this is your half moon. You're trying to work your ribs around as if your body is flat up against the side of a wall. Take one more breath. Can you go back? So really bend that standing leg as much as you can. So good for your quad, so good for your knee to learn to have a nice deep bend and reach yourself back. Good. Take a breath in and take yourself down to the ground, high push-up or low push-up. We're about to bring ourselves now into some kneeling movements. Lift your hips and exhale, press back and pop yourself onto your knees. From your knees, ease yourself up into a nice high kneeling lunge. Tuck your tail under, squeeze your glutes, bring your elbows behind you. It's like a half a camel. So we're doing this to create a little bit of upper back extension and the belly on. So you pull your elbows together, squeeze your glutes, and gently let your ribs pop up. So now, can you do this with the belly on? And I'm a person that likes to tuck the chin. I think it's safer. If you've got massively long arms, you might find that you can come to a full camel and bring your hands onto your heels. But it is morning, and sometimes in the morning, it's a little bit harder to move. So now just be aware of the front line of your body. It's like a zip. So feel the groin up to the belly button, up to the ribs. And then as you inhale, pull that zip in so that as you exhale, zip yourself up, working from your front body. Good. Fold back into a pose of the child. So that means hips sit on heels. You can have your arms forward or out to the side. Let your head rest to the ground and take 3 beautiful, nice, long, deep breaths. As you do that, it's a good moment just to notice the changes in your physical body. What has the practice done for you today? So stress, little mental moments that are challenging or tough for us, they all get stored in our muscles. Stress is an automatic response to muscle tightness. And so just moving like we have gets rid of stress, even when you're not focusing on it, just because of the muscle work. Sometimes, just let the power of the pose, try not to think about it too much and focus more on how you feel at the end. Press yourself back up again. One more of our little camel or baby camel. So choose whichever you want. Tailbone tucks, glutes are on, belly is on. You have your hands on your hips, hands on your heels. Pull your elbows back as you inhale, lift. I'm a chin tucker, but always look after your own body. I don't really think the neck's designed to be flopped back. So I think it's better to have a little bit of control, but it is the upper back. That's where we all slump, hey? And so when we bend backwards, it's natural for your lower back to arch and your neck to arch, but most of us don't need that bit. We need the upper back bit. So once again, find that zip as you breathe in and pull yourself up and really pull in the core to bring yourself back up. Beautiful. Pose of the child. Once again, forehead on the ground. How good does it feel? And just be aware of the length of your breath. And one thing you can work on in your breath, if nothing else, is just observation, getting to know when it is smooth, when it's rushed, when you need catch-up breaths. And with yoga, the more you practice, the better your breath gets, just because you know what the cues are. You kind of know where your body's going instead of having to listen to me as much. And that's a good place. So slide yourself back up, tuck your heels, and come into a seated position any way that you can. So sit your body, how you're feeling. Hopefully you feel good. Now, if it's hard to sit, because many of us have hips that are just not conducive to sitting, you can always pop yourself on a towel or something that's popped up. A little bit of shoulder work before we finish, and a little bit of leg work to go as well. But take your right arm underneath your left. So I'm doing left, so we're mirroring. And then see if you can bring your hands, and this is called like an eagle position. If your hands do that, that's fine. You can just start working elbows up and elbows down. If they don't do that, you can hug your shoulders. And we're doing this to get some glide in the shoulder blades. So inhale as you lift the elbows and exhale as you drop. And so it's the top one. It's actually your one that's on top, your left arm that's getting more of a stretch, yes? So use your bottom arm to pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Good. And then just do one more. So pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, and hold this one nice and high. So think about your crown of head sitting over your ribs sitting over your pelvis. And you've got this big, beautiful vertical line through the middle of the body. Take a big breath, lift, lift, lift the elbows, lift, 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 and then gently release. Take your left arm out to the side and grab a hold of the right side of your ears and drop the chin over to the side, so ear to shoulder. With your right arm, push it down and away. So you put the heel of the hand and you're driving it. Now this is where you get to play. You can play by moving the arm back a little bit to see how that feels. You can play by turning the chin down ever so slightly to see how that feels. There's a whole bunch of muscles that connect your skull down to the shoulder, the tip of the shoulder, but also to collarbone. And that might mean it's better for you taking the arm back. And then, of course, around to the shoulder blade. How good is that one? And gently release. Come out of stretches easily and slowly. Let's try the other side. So hold on to the left here and gently pull yourself across. Make a big, strong heel of the hand. So drive. And so as you drive, you can feel the shoulder drop. Yeah. So as you're using your lats to pull the arm bone down, but instead of just the lats pulling the arm bone down, think about using your shoulder blade. Can you get an awareness of shoulder blade? Pull down from there. And as you move the arm forward and back and drop the chin, you might notice that feels a little bit different. So looking from the shoulder blade rather than the arm bone, keep the inside bit of the shoulder blade down. And for some of us, that's a really tight area. Keep moving through the neck gently. Once again, I don't recommend looking up. Those tiny little neck bones, they're not really designed to be dropped backward. And then gently release. So how good does that feel? Roll your shoulders a little bit, move your head, it should feel good. So we're going to bring ourselves into a seated position. From your seated position, you can bring your feet together. You can press one knee down, or you can press both knees down. You can have your feet in close. You can have your feet out further. You can sit tall. You can bend forward, whatever feels good for you. And I recommend right now that you just close your eyes and just give yourself a little positive thought, such as movement is good for my body. Focused breathing is good for my body. And if your body is a little bit healthier and happier, it's much easier to have a mind that matches it. And then gently release. We're going to take one leg out in front of us. We're going to keep one leg bent in close. Take a breath and fold forward. So sometimes people like to reach up. If that's too stressful on your back, just bring yourself wherever you want to go. And take a deep breath, look forward. And then as you exhale, just bend the elbows and drop a little bit. And then do that again. Inhale, look forward. So at the beginning of the class, we did some yeses and nos. Exhale, tuck the chin. And do that one more time. So move with the neck. Yes, I feel good. And then just fold and hold. So you want to push down through that bent knee. So you're anchoring it into the ground. And sometimes a little bit of movement from side to side can be useful. And then very gently ease yourself up. You're going to change to the other side. So play and explore, see how it feels for you. Take your time setting yourself up. And you can either lift your arms or you can just walk yourself forward. Doesn't matter where you get to. Make it comfy for your body. And then think, lift the chin, just gently draw the chin away from the collarbones to kind of play with all the tissue down the back of the body, and then just gently tuck the chin in. Do that again. So inhale happens usually as we open the body. Exhale, 2 reasons: to give you strength or also to give you relaxation. So that's a really interesting concept. One more time, when you're up and standing, the exhale uses your core, but right now in the exhale, it allows you just to drop into a little bit of comfortable stillness. And if you want to describe what is yoga, it's kind of moving your body, focusing on your breath, being mindful of where you are. But one of the processes that you'll observe from your yoga practice is it gets easier to be comfortably still without being restless or agitated or fidgety. And then very gently ease yourself up. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to do a seated twist, any leg you like. Cross it over. You can have one leg straight and twist around, or if you want, you can fold that extended leg in and under. And the twist is the ribs. So kind of squeeze your belly, be active again in your core. Draw the length of the spine right out through the crown of the head and just feel the ribs spin. Like it's such a subtle thing. Can I keep my belly strong and get my ribs to spin? For many of us, especially if you have a sitting job, ribs get quite tight. You can hold on with your elbow, any variation that feels good. Back arm, I like to use sometimes as a prop. So you've got this really proud, long spine. And then just gently let the chin rotate. It should feel comfy. We've done some really nice neck release. We've released your chest, your shoulders, your neck, the side body. Release your hips, hamstrings, hip flexors. Come back through the center and change legs. So either have the legs straight at the bottom or fold it up. And this is a particularly good way of getting the glute muscles starting to be stretched as well. And that's going to be our last little movement before we go into your Shavasana, your final resting position. And so we have a 45-minute class, and always feel free to add things on. It's pretty hard for everyone to get all their needs met in one class. So you'll notice and probably remember some of the moves that you enjoyed. You can make your own little home practice and then come around. So our last little one is a hip stretch. So either just your cross-legged coming forward if that works for you, if you're a little bit more flexy and you want to do some other weird ones where you put your knee on top of your knee, like this is called a sitting cow. I think it's a good name, cow pose. And you can also do things like open double pigeons where you've got your feet forward. Just do what feels good. And then you can either rest your elbows on your thighs, and we've got about 3 to 5 breaths on this side, and then 3 to 5 breaths on the other side. And so right now, see if you can get a little bit of stillness in your body. And just feel the edge of the sensation. And notice the longer you hold a shape, the more different the sensation becomes. That focus on your body switches off some of the normal mind chatter, really useful. You've got the other side to play with, so choose any variation you want of a cross-legged position. And once again, just let your body weight fall forward over it. Hopefully your room is warm. And a 2-minute Shavasana, how does that sound? I'll bring you out of that 2 minutes. So really ask yourself, do you have 2 minutes where you could dedicate just to letting your body be comfortably still? And relaxation is different to sleep. And it's different to lazy slopping. So relaxation is consciously letting your body be still. So ease yourself back up and bring yourself around to make yourself comfortable lying on the ground. So if you find that you have back problems, sometimes putting a towel or something on your knees to bend. Otherwise, just let yourself roll all the way down and spend a moment just wiggling and jiggling. So wiggle and jiggle with your legs and wiggle and jiggle with your arms, and really kind of like, have you seen a little dog before it sits down? It walks around, and then it goes thump and drops. So do the same with yourself. Move your body around. And when you find your stillness, feel free just to close your eyes. Know that you're being supported by the ground. Take your awareness to your breath and just follow the inhale like a merry-go-round. The exhale flows out and you pick up that in-breath where you left it off. And gently wiggling your toes and your fingers. Maybe the need to deepen the breath is there. And at some stage, we always encourage you to roll over onto your side rather than sit straight up, just because you've relaxed your belly muscles and you wouldn't want to stress your back in that last moment. But when you bring yourself to seated, maybe close your eyes for one more moment and just feel the difference. And take one last breath in. Reach your arms all the way up. As you exhale, just bring your hands right down in front of your heart center. And we always acknowledge everyone in the room by saying a word called namaste. And it's got many translations, but as simple as we acknowledge each other's effort, we acknowledge each other's energy, and we acknowledge our connection. Have a beautiful day.